down there in Daytona. We spent some time getting to know the family. It's a four-part interview that you'll be seeing over the course of this evening. Now, you know, this year has been a pretty good one for Mark Martin. 3 Busch Series wins. He's starting 4th tomorrow at Darlington, 5th on Sunday, top 5 in the NASCAR Winston Cup points. But as Mark and his son Matt shared with us on Tuesday, looking back to 1996 really isn't all that much fun. You could have gotten my money last year if somebody had told me that Mark Martin wouldn't have won a race in 1996. I dare say you would have been right there with me. I mean, you couldn't have imagined that. How tough a year was 96 on you?
Well, it probably wasn't as bad as you might think. You know, I've done my best. We had good enough stuff to win a few occasions, and things didn't go our way on those particular occasions, and we didn't go good enough to win often enough to overcome that.
Do you like what you do? Because you can't always tell. Is this business still fun for you, or is it so much a business now that the fun aspects have been, out of necessity, pushed aside?
Let me tell you what fun is. Real fun is just starting racing and the first few years of a career or experiencing things you didn't know you could do. That's fun. Your first win, your first few wins after you move up into the next level. When you start racing against people that are your heroes and beating them, that's fun. Winning when you don't really expect it, like the Busch race at Richmond this year. Three of my last 4 wins, you know, that came in 95. Surprise at Talladega, for me anyway. Surprise at Charlotte, because I thought I could never catch Terry. Surprise that we could win at Wilkesboro, because we've won there twice, but we've struggled there more than twice. Those are really exciting wins. To me, to go out and drive a race car, there's no fun in that at all. To go out and win, there's fun in that. To sit on the pole, there's fun in that. You know, but when you just think about, well, oh, you wake up in the morning and you say, oh, what would really be fun for me is to strap into a car and drive it fast. You know, we do that 5 days a week. Good point. So that's not where the thrill's at.
Do you have a gift? I mean, are you lucky? Did you have to teach yourself how to be good behind the wheel, or is this something that you always had the ability to do?
I think I could drive before I ever drove, you know. I don't know how good I am. I didn't manage to win a Winston Cup race in 1996. But whatever I am and whatever level came very easy. I mean, it just was there. I wouldn't say it was very easy. I never struggled to drive. I struggled to figure out how to make cars go fast enough to win.
But I'll tell you, he's figured it out pretty well. Whatever Mark Martin says, well, they didn't win last year and so on, the man is still one of the very best in the business. And I remember many years ago, many years ago, back in the early 80s, when he first showed up from Arkansas, grabs a Busch pole right out of the box. We'll talk about that when we come back here in the second part of our interview about Mark Martin, the young man, the youngster really, who worked his way up the racing ladder.
He's an incredible guy and in wonderful shape.
He really is. Man works out constantly, has a gym right there at the home. Of course, they have everything right there at the house. They've got a jet that was sitting right behind us there. So he and Arlene have a beautiful location there. But a lot of interesting talk coming up yet a bit later on the show.
All right. Well, we'll be joined by Eli again. But now some Miller Lite news and notes. This week, the Food Line TNN Salute to Motorsports announced its list of racing guests for the 3rd annual event to be held at Opryland. This 5-day event is set for June 25th through the 29th, and it will feature appearances by top drivers and all kinds of hands-on displays from all aspects of racing. Now, set to appear for the Winston Cup Series are Jeff Gordon, Bill Elliott, Ricky Craven, Ted Musgrave. Also confirmed for the event are Kart Indy stars, defending champ Jimmy Vasser, and the Rookie of the Year, Alex Zanardi, as well as NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series driver Rick Corelli. So mark your calendars now, June 25th through 29th, kind of a fanfare to Winston Cup drivers.
And, Katie, as we said, the Busch Grand National drivers are in Darlington for the Diamond Hill Plywood 200 and the Trans-South 400 for Mark Martin and the Winston Cup guys. The BGN drivers are set to go tomorrow. And on the front row, a sweep by the Diamond Ridge Motorsports teammates, Elliott Sadler and Jeff Green. Winston Cup stars Ricky Craven, Mark Martin, and Jeff Burton round out the top 5. Ron Barfield, Bill Elliott's protege, is 6th. Dick Crickle, Hermes Sadler, series points leader Todd Bodine, and Mark Green complete the top 10. In the Winston Cup Series, Dale Jarrett is on the pole for Sunday's race. Ricky Craven joins him on the front row. Bobby Labonte, Jeff Bodine, and Mark Martin are in the top 5. 6 through 10, it's Jeff Burton, Hutch Strickland, Ernie Irvin, Sterling Marlin, and Jeff Gordon. Jarrett was just a tick under 172 miles an hour.
We had a good test here last year before the Southern 500. That helped us a lot. We've got a really good organization right now. Things are going great. Todd and the guys give me great cars every week to come out of the box, and I think, yeah, it shows how good a team we have.
Katie, they are so good, but the other Dale Earnhardt, continues to struggle. The Intimidator was 40th today.
That's incredible. There's a lot of chatter about why that is. Maybe the reason will come out soon. There's some sad news this weekend. Joe Nemechek did not attempt to qualify. He flew this morning to Miami to be with his family. His brother John passed away this morning from massive head injuries. John was hurt during the race on Sunday in Homestead, Florida. And in lieu of flowers, the Nemechek family has requested that any donations be sent to the John Nemechek Trust Fund, Community Bank of Homestead, 28801 Southwest 157th Avenue, Homestead, Florida, 33033. John Nemechek was 27 years old.
Mom, I can't find my skate.
Look under the table. No TV all day, remember?
Our babysitter watches TV all day. Mom, why do you always have to work?
It's called videos, food, skates.
Can't we go to the beach?
Not today, honey. I've got a meeting with a very important client.
Mom, when can I be a client?
You have 5 minutes to get ready to go to the beach, or I'm going without you. Crybaby. Hey, driving!
Introducing Red Baron pouches. All new stuffed sandwiches you'll want to run home to.
Hey, driving! Mount driving. Are we gonna have to?
Bring the Baron home. New Red Baron pouches. The hands have been dealt. The stakes are high. And when you're against all odds, you gotta lay it on the line. It's NASCAR racing. Busch Grand National style. Live from Hickory Motor Speedway. The Galaxy Foods 400. March 29th, 4 Eastern, 3 Central. Only on TNN Motorsports.
It's a Friday night. It's Motor Madness. Katie House and Steve Burns here. Eli Gold. We're all waiting for your Boss Hog invitation. Come on.
Not yet, not yet.
Fine. Tease us.
Not
fine.
yet.
All right, fine. We'll all go back to Mesquite, Texas, and that old Devil's Bowl. We got Ralph Shaheen and Steve Evans. What great racing we have tonight.
There it is right there, the Devil's Own Kitchen here at Devil's Bowl. The 24th Annual Spring Nationals, the Pennzoil World of Outlaws, Mesquite, Texas, home of Devil's Bowl Speedway. And let's go downstairs to Bobby Gerald.
Ralph, they are staging for the Vibrant Dash, and Johnny Herrera knows that how you finish in the Vibrant Dash is how you're going to start tonight's main event. Now, you're starting 7th in the Dash, but there's not a lot of time, so what's realistic here, Johnny?
Well, Bobby, you know, we're starting 7th. Hopefully we can at least get up to, get another row and get up to 5th. And, you know, in the heat race, Casey's General Store car was working really good, so hopefully we can at least get another row out of it.
Now, he's going to start on the inside. That's a good thing here at Devil's Bowl tonight. Danny Lasowski standing by with Dave Reef. That's right, Bobby. And when it comes to good-looking pictures, Danny Lasowski provides us with a lot of that. And when it comes to consistent finishes, he's also right there. But the best he's finished is 4th. And Danny, outside the front row of the Vibrant Dash, it's your best chance for a front row starting spot in your first World Outlaw win this year.
Yeah, we'll tell you what, this car's been running really good, the Conwest car. They drew a 6, and it definitely helped us out. So we'll see if we can't get this thing in victory lane, this dash, and start us up front in the feature.
Well, I'm sure he's hoping that the only good-looking pictures you see out of his in-car camera are the tail of the lap cars that hopefully he's going to come upon. Guys?
Well, he had me guessing there, Fred. It took us for a while for Danny to give us the traditional Lasowski wink at the end there. I was getting a little nervous, but maybe he was really into his game face.
And when you're talking to Danny the Dude, you're talking to a sprint car driver who has over 200 wins to his credit. How many years has he been the champion, the track champion at Knoxville Raceway, Ralph? How many?
Oh, 6.
Easy.
6 times. Let's take a look at the grid now for our Vibrant Dash. Stevie Smith will start up on the front with Danny Lasowski right alongside of him, the winningest driver ever at Knoxville Speedway. Joe Gertie, Gary Wright will make up the next row.
Andy Hillenberg from Oklahoma. Ooh, there's a match race. Hillenberg and Mark Kenzer, the World of Outlaws champion.
And rounding out the field will be Johnny Hollywood Herrera and Rick Steele in the 18 car.
I got to apologize to Johnny. I call him Hollywood Herrera because he won so much on TNN last year after he won the Kings Royal at Eldora, and it kind of stuck. So, sorry, John. Actually, he's got a T-shirt that says Hollywood Herrera. Maybe he owes me a royalty.
That's right, because we found out hats and shirts and the whole deal coming out with the Hollywood logo on there. So, Johnny Herrera with a new nickname.
And this is kind of cool. You know, a dash with Rick Zeal in it. That's interesting. How about Gary Wright replacing guys you're maybe more familiar with in this real short affair, like Steve Kenzer, who didn't make the dash.
Now, Joe Gertie scored 6th place at the Mini Gold Cup back in Chico, California, just a week or two ago, and he's carrying that onboard camera for us there. That's a good look from the suspension. I haven't had a chance to see this shot much this year. That's a great-looking shot, too. You'll really see that front wheel dancing along those tires.
And take a look at Stevie Smith when he starts on the pole here for this dash. He was a Woo winner here in 1995. Knows this racetrack very well.
This is Rick Zeal's first ever World of Outlaw dash, by the way. So the Las Cruces, New Mexico driver. Have a pretty good night over here at Devil's Bowl.
Few butterflies, I think, in that particular rocket ship.
Here's a good look at the inside of Stevie Smith's motor. We go racing now, coming off at turn number 4.
Ooh, and look at Stevie Smith, and going down low is the Dude.
Coming off at 2, it's going to be Stevie Smith, Danny Lasowski, and here comes Andy Hillenberg from 4th to 2nd place by the end of the back chute.
What a power move that was, but Stevie Smith carries the speed out of turn number 4 and down the long front stretch, about 120 miles an hour.
We've seen those McCreary tires doing so well early on. You're on board with Lasowski down the back stretch. The Dude out of Dover, Missouri, running pretty strong as they come off of 4 and up the front straightaway. He sits in 3rd.
And just behind him is Mark Kenzer, the 5M car.
There's Gertie battling things out with Gary Wright. That's the fight back in 5th position. And there's the look from Gertie's car. As you look back at the rest of the field behind him, that's Johnny Herrera trying to close in.
Well, Mark Kenzer right now, the best he can muster is 4th position. He is the Woo points leader right now. You see him muscling, trying to hang on to 4th.
Gary Wright behind Gertie as you go back on board with Gertie, looking over his shoulder. White flag is out as Stevie Smith crosses the line. Andy Hillenberg trying to take a shot at him but can't close in.
So the finish here will determine how they'll match up. In the front rows for the A feature of the big race with all the cash.
Checkered flag to Stevie Smith. Hillenberg is 2nd. Lasowski, Mark Kenzer, Gertie, Gary Wright, Johnny Herrera, and Rick Zeal. But there's your winner right there, Stevie Smith. And it's good to see that program starting to turn around for this team. Of course, his dad working with him so close.
And TNN has so many viewers in Pennsylvania where sprint cars are so popular. That's one for the Pennsylvania posse. You guys get up, cheer, throw the chips, throw the dips.
Danny Lasowski comes home 3rd. Joe Gertie behind him as well. Como, Florida. Hi.
My grandfather, my father, both my brothers, my kids will probably have thinning hair. Losing my hair was probably one of the most traumatic experiences in my life. But the great thing about Rogaine is You can interrupt nature. You can stop it. It takes 30 seconds. Twice a day. It's easier than brushing your teeth or putting on deodorant. About 4 months later, my wife walked by and she just was, hey, wait a second. You're growing hair. Check this out. It's thicker. It's fuller. It's great. I'm a user for life.
Good morning, starshine. The earth says hello. You twinkle above us, twinkle below. Pretty clips slipping, really lovely, la 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 lo lo. Lava city, lava doobie, lava lava
Unbelievable. Spectacular. Breathtaking. Crash Impact. 60 minutes of blazing crash action in this special edition 2-volume set. See outrageous motocross and road racing action, sprint cars and outlaws, Grand Prix, stock cars, monster trucks, powerboats, and more. Only $19.95. This exclusive 2-tape set is jam-packed with magnificent racing and crash action footage featuring top drivers from around the world. Order now and get absolutely free. Havoc 1, over 45 minutes of rare footage, including some of the most thrilling and horrifying moments that made early racing history. And you'll get this incredible 2-tape offer, plus your Havoc video free. 3 tapes that'll blow you away. Guaranteed or your money back.
To order, call 1-800-544-6664. That's 1-800-544-6664. Or send $19.95 plus $5.95 shipping and handling to the address on your screen.
This week on My Classic Car Video Magazine, we'll explore the career of designer Pete Brock, creator of the legendary Daytona Coupe. Jim Richardson will show us how to remove dents. We'll visit the AMC Showfield of Dreams in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. And we'll go for a hair-raising ride in a big bad orange AMX.
My Classic Car, Saturday at 1 Eastern, noon Central on TNN Motorsports.
Stevie Smith's dad, Steve, spent a lot of 1996 running around doing R&D work so that when him and his son got together, they'd have a pretty stout program. And guess what? His son just picked up his first win in the Vibrant Dash here in 1997. Here's a look at the results of that. Smith over Hillenberg, Wasowski, Mark Kinzer, and Joe Gertie. Let's head downstairs now to Dave Reeve, who's with that Vibrant Dash winner.
Well, you know when you're on the front stretch and you see this big sign that says Vibrant Dash winner, Stevie Smith, you must be doing something right. You're over the early season hump.
Well, we're hoping. Like I said, my dad and Devin and my whole crew, they're doing a good job. They've got the car a lot better and things are going a little bit smoother. Hopefully we'll be here by the end of the night.
Devil's Bowl win, especially live on TNN, be a great way to pay back everybody that helps you.
Yeah, it sure would be. We're all trying hard, but hopefully at the end of the night, like I said, we'll be out here in the front stretch.
We talked to some drivers. Sound like the track might take on some rubber as the night goes on. What do you think's going to happen?
I think we're going to see a little bit of rubber. I think I felt just a tad there in the dash coming out of turn 2, so I think it should get faster as the night goes on from here out.
Well, a fast guy will be on the fast front row. Stevie Smith, our Vibrant Dash winner.
And that car, Dave, you were talking about the Stevie won with. He and his dad literally hand-built that car. It took them months to do it. And the reward for his dad, he's soon going to be a grandfather, as Stevie's wife, Kendra, is about 6 weeks from their first child.
Good news for them. Well, we're going to send you back to the studio here in Charlotte in just a moment. We'll come back, and we'll have a lot more racing from you from Devil's Bowl. But right now, send you back to Charlotte.
All right, thanks, Ralph. We'll go back there, of course, to the A-Main, the big event coming up still from Devil's Bowl Speedway, and we'll all be there for
I want to know why they call it Designer Night.
I haven't figured that out yet, but we've got a list of questions.
We have a whole list
for these 4 guys, including one of them is what is that on Steve Evans' tie? We'll figure all that out. But hopefully you're enjoying the show, the TNN Motor Madness. And if you have some questions or some comments, we'd love to get your letters. We're reading all the mail and we enjoy it. So keep it coming because some of you will be able to win some NASCAR Thunder stuff. We're going to give away, jackets, shirts, T-shirts, even some leather jackets. So we'll start doing that soon. Send your mail to Motor Madness, care of TNN Viewer Services, 2806 Opryland Drive, Nashville, Tennessee, 37214. Anything at all, within reason, of course. We'd love to see what you think about the show and what you've got on your mind, so write to us.
Or some not within reason.
Okay, fine. That's be your mail. I don't want it. You can have it. I'll get enough of that.
We all know that Winston Cup champ Terry Labonte can handle 3 wide at 200 miles an hour. But what about some real speed.
Yeah, right, real speed. When in Las Vegas, Terry Labonte had the chance to find out what it's like to be a Top Gun with the Air Force Thunderbird. Let's go on a ride.
First thing for the day, of course, you're a VIP. It's right here on the chest area. Next one I have for you is Air Combat Command. It's the command that we fall under in the Air Force. Okay. And next I have is 57th Wing Patch. Goes over here on the left shoulder. And of course, for the afternoon, it'll be a Thunderbird. All right. Goes over here on the right shoulder.
All right, let's rock and roll then. Okay, there's our 400 knots coming up on that. Right on up, hit the 4. 90 degrees go time. You can look behind you, I think you like it. Oh, wow, that's cool. Wow. Go ahead and roll her out heading downhill here. It's a little hot day, like I said. So we just roll her out a little early and climb on up. Departure Thunderbird 7, airborne passing 13 for 16.
Over 7 LSI Denver, Roger. Maintain 17,000, sir.
And I'll tell you what, this is just awesome. It's a nice airplane. You want me to go down low for a while, or you want to fly? Yeah, why don't you go down low for a minute? Okay, we'll go right along this ridge line here.
Warning.
That's just Betty telling us that, hey, Tommy, you bring 7.
7, sir.
Okay, switch runways on me. No problem. I could have apologized for the long, drawn-out straight-in. Gonna catch heck for that. In fact, let's go on and we'll bring her on in. Okay, come on down.
That thing will run right there. I thought those Hendrick motors were strong, but that thing there.
Even a Thunderbird.
Yeah, that was fun. I'll tell you what, that was something I've always wanted to do, and that was a thrill.
Oh, man, Terry Labonte. What a dude. To me, he looked quite nice in that Thunderbird. Very natural guy. I think it's Hollywood.
Now,
Hollywood.
you flew in one of those bad boys, didn't you?
It was an F-18. Yeah. What, did I have a good time?
Yeah,
it was great. It was after you relax and go with it, that's when you make big mistakes. Never relax in an F-18, but that's big fun. Way to go, Terry. I'm glad he got that over with. So we're going to have a lot to talk about. We're going to come back and talk about next week and get back into those World of Outlaws. Stay with us. CNN's Motor Madness right after this.
1 minute Maalox.
The other night I woke up at about 1 a.m. with heartburn. Bad. So I tried this new Mylanta AR, and I waited. And waited. I should have taken Maalox.
Clinical studies prove Maalox starts to work on stomach acid in about 1 minute, while Mylanta AR could take over 45 minutes.
in the middle of the night, I can't wait that long. I need something I know works fast. I'll stick with 1 minute Maalox.
For heartburn or acid indigestion, count on 1 minute Maalox.
Is your dandruff sending the wrong signals? Get Selsun Power. Doctors recommend Selsun Blue #1. So don't send the wrong signals. Get Selsun Power.
Race fans, kick off the 1997 NASCAR season with this exclusive offer, an authentic T&N Motorsports NASCAR Thunder mini helmet made by Simpson Race Products. Call today or visit your local NASCAR Thunder store to purchase this one-of-a-kind limited edition collectible. Call 1-800-338-6016.
All right, we'll do that. We need a mini helmet. Why don't we have one of those on the set?
Head's too big.
Ooh, it's mine or yours? Don't look at me. Yeah. So next week, you know what we're doing?
What?
We're doing the Demolition Derby.
Demo Derby.
Unbelievable ratings. People flock to the TV for this, I guess because they can identify. I drive just like that.
You know, Ralph Shaheen told me a very mysterious fact. He said you cannot drive a Chrysler Imperial in the Demo Derby.
Why is that?
He doesn't know either.
No, well, you big tease.
Yeah.
Why'd you bring it up?
Well, he just told me.
That's weird. We'll have to ask him. Another question to ask Ralph. Well, Demo Derby from the Dixie Speedway in Woodstock, Georgia. If you've never seen one, take a look at
next
this.
Friday as the Demolition Derby cars are rolling into Atlanta
Most of them were being towed.
for the Dixie Crash Fest. The cars are gearing up for more bumper grinding action.
No, it's not what I'm used to.
In Demo Derby, there are only 2 rules.
Got to run all day long.
And be the last car running.
You got to have a little luck in there.
Demo Derby is back, and we've got it right here on Motor Madness.
Look how popular it is.
Got to find out the Chrysler Imperial deal.
Are they collectible cars?
They're big.
Well, that's perfect.
All right, well, we'll be back in just a little bit with more from the world of Outlaws at the Devil's Bowl.
Think you have what it takes to land big bass? Then enter the TNN Outdoors Big Bass World Championship. You could qualify for nearly $100,000 in cash and prizes just for catching one big bass. The Nashville Network and Bass and Magazine are challenging all weekend anglers to show us your prize catch. Call 1-800-799-4545 now for free information on ordering your entry packet. You must be 18 years of age to enter. Land the biggest largemouth bass in your state to win a free trip to Big Cedar Lodge near Branson, Missouri, and compete against 49 anglers for a top prize valued at nearly $100,000. And everyone who certifies a bass gets an instant winner prize package valued at $60. Call now to enter and get a free cap and a copy of Bass and Magazine. Catch bass, win stuff. It's that easy. Get ready to reel in the prizes. Enter the TNN Outdoors Big Bass World Championship today.
This week on Motor Trend, we present the 97 Import Car of the Year. Plus, we'll look back at the hot Dodge Charger RT. Motor Trend Television, this weekend on TNN.
Man, it's fun at the #1 music park in the nation. Oh, what a thrill to get your fill of a good time celebration. But till you come and see it, you'll never understand. The most fun in the country is Opryland. Man, it's a blast, just hold 'em fast with a hangman's got you swinging. Ain't it a hoot to tap your boots when you hear America singing? You gotta come and see it to really understand. The most fun in the country is Opryland. Opryland's the one. Great shows, great rides, great fun. Ain't it grand to hear the band and clap your hands right with them? What a treat when all those feet start dancing to the rhythm. But you gotta come and see it to really understand. The most fun in the country is Opryland. The most fun in the country is Opryland.
All right, we're gonna do that, boss.
And we got a mini helmet.
Yeah, we got a mini helmet. Boy, asking you will pay for it. Let's get back to the Devil's Bowl Speedway. Ralph Shaheen, Steve Evans, big action coming up for the World of Outlaws.
Thank you, Katie. Welcome back, everybody, to Devil's Bowl Speedway in Mesquite, Texas, just outside of Dallas, the Big D. And you are looking at the cars that are circulating around for our C-feature lineup. But before we get into that, we want to give you some quick highlights of what you might have missed if you're just tuning in. Let's kick it all off with heat number 1 with the Pennzoil World of Outlaws. This one was all the blue number 1, the Channel Lock car. Slamming Sammy Swindell, got out front and just decimated the field in heat number 1. Took him a couple of tries to get to the green flag. 3, as a matter of fact. Once they did, Sammy was gone. Heat number 2. This one was a family affair. Smoke pouring out of the pipes of the number 2 STP car. Andy Hillenberg gets inside on Lance Blevins. Once he did that, it was all over. Hillenberg pulled away, smoke and all. Not a problem for Andy Hillenberg. Heat number 3, big problems for Don Drought with the tires on the inside of the racetrack. He clips one going into 3. The 1BK done. Meanwhile, up front, the vibrant number 10 of Dave Blaney with the wrenches being tuned by Kenny Woodruff, pulling away, taking the win. Heat number 4 was another Swindell. This time it's the flaming car, the Gold Eagle back entry of Jeff Swindell, the Ford-powered machine, out front and winning it. Into the vibrant dash we go with the quickest cars out of qualifying. Watch Andy Hillenberg on the bottom. Remember the smoke? Not a problem here. He gets by 3rd. He gets by Lasowski for 2nd. That's as good as he could do, though, because up front, Stevie Smith in that black number 19 would hold off Andy Hillenberg for the win. That's a look at the highlights. Here's a look at the grid for the C-Main.
Well, Marlon Jones is about the only name, Ralph, you wouldn't expect to maybe find in the C-Main. C, to some people, stands for crash. In this instance, it's been called the hooligan race, the suitcase race, because if you don't make it to get back your suitcase, 10 of the drivers weren't even in the heat races. All they did was time trial. So it's desperation time and time to maybe get a little TV.
20 cars in this one, too. We'll move on. It's a 10-lap race.
With a 15-minute time limit tonight from U officials. These things can be a real train wreck. This could be the demolition derby of World of Outlaws. Let's hope not, but it's happened before.
No Chrysler Imperials in this one.
They're indestructible. How do you have an all-Chrysler Imperial destruction derby? It would never end.
Well, the C feature is ready to go. There's a good look at the 52, Ronald Laney, who is up on the front. Won at Houston 2 weeks ago and picked up a win here at Mesquite last year.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to be 1st or 2nd. That's the only way you go to the B-Main. Here we go. Cross your fingers. Lock up the kids and the dogs.
Oh, didn't take long. He spun all the way around.
Unbelievable.
See that?
Danny Sullivan, Indy 500.
The 16L of Leonard Lee, who is a true veteran sprint car man. Oh, and we got another one around on the back straightaway, and he's not going to continue on. One of the most unique-looking cars I've ever seen, Tommy Johnson, the 22T.
That car has been coming out here with that asymmetrical wing since I've been coming out here. About 1985, he drags it out of mothballs about twice a year. Some people said only to get on TV this time. Guess what? He got it.
Well, he has won races. In fact, picked up a victory here back in 1988.
With that car.
Yeah. Now watch the front straightaway. Watch Leonard Lee. Right there, all the way around. Look at the tire locked up. Then he gets it going.
Leonard, you couldn't do that again for $1 million.
Unbelievable. Now watch the 22, the blue car right here. Looks like he got together.
Wow. Either that or he got on the brakes. It's a little too hard to prevent getting together with. So there's Workin' Woody, that little utility vehicle that is so indispensable in all World of Outlaw races. And he'll be getting the 22E car off this racetrack as quickly as possible, and the clock continues to tick on the 15-minute time limit.
Looks like he had gotten together with Mallory Armfield in the 5MA. Dave Reed?
I just had a chance to talk with Tommy Johnson right before he pushed off. This is a very unique car, been around forever. It was aerodynamically tested, instrumented on the racetrack to try to find the perfect balance and loading on the tires. They accomplished that in the mid-'80s, but the rules changes have forced that car to change a little bit. But here's something for you. That is the exact same chassis that was in the race car in 1984. It's a 13-year-old chassis.
Hey, getting his money's worth, right?
Let's hope he's checked the tubing.
Yeah, O2 thin, back in '84. All right, well, we're going to have a restart coming up here in just a moment, but first we have time to go down to Bob Gerald.
Randy Hannigan is a driver who normally wouldn't be seen in a C race in car number 1X. He's an exceptional qualifier, but tonight during qualifying, he went out for his first lap and he ran over the berm in turn number 2. And there was a brace that holds on the mufflers that they're using here tonight. That brace came off, the muffler went off, and so Randy kind of had to go tail end Charlie at the end of the qualifying order once the officials noticed that the muffler was off. So he ended up with a horrible, horrible time and didn't transfer through in his heat race, and so that's why we're seeing the Hurricane in the 1X in this race tonight.
You know, you talk about a long commute. I picked this up off of CompuServe Racing Information Services. William L. Stewart analyzed the whole Woo schedule for 97. If you want to travel the entire series, you will only have to drive 25,853.8 miles. That is more than one lap of the planet. The drive time only 413 hours, and that doesn't include driving to the hotel or any rainouts or anything. So, I mean, you think you got a bum ride to work. Think about these guys. And by the way, Bill, anybody that has that much time on their hands needs to get a life.
Well, there's a look at Leonard Lee's car. He broke that right front and blew out the tire, and some of the other crews over there trying to get him back in. You'll probably see Leonard McCarl in the picture. That's Terry's dad, who is wrenching for Leonard Lee here. Leonard McCarl actually finished 9th here in the very first ever Outlaw show back in '78 as a driver.
They're trying to get this field out on the racetrack. You can hear in the background lined up properly, which is not easy to do when you've got a lot of inexperienced drivers. As we said, 10th through 20th, only time trial, if they even did that. But don't think some of them didn't come a long ways. Dan Dietrich out of Wisconsin, got cars out of Iowa, Illinois, Missouri.
For some of them, and for some of the fans here, the Spring Nationals have always been a great way to escape the cold up north and get to the first warm weather race of the year. In fact, Craig Delansky was telling us he was snowmobiling back home in Minneapolis or the Minnesota area just last week. And now he's down here racing his sprint car for the first time in the '97 season.
And when those guys go snowmobiling, they're talking 250-mile loop. Serious stuff.
Well, 2 cars will come out of this 20-car field, and the paint truck pulling off, so we'll be green next time by, and it looks like Leonard Lee is going to be done.
And how about the 22T car, indestructible, Tommy Johnson, back at the back of the pack.
Look at that 1984 chassis.
Boy, it is kind of goofy looking. That's when computers would lie to you, wasn't it?
Yeah.
In '84. Okay, the clock is still ticking. They may not get in the entire 10 laps if they are not clean and green. Here we go. Ronald Laney leads them down.
And leads him off at turn number 2. The Humble, Texas native. That's literally where he's from, Humble, Texas.
Will they make humble pie? I want that one back. All right, can uncross my fingers. They have a lap in the books here in this 10th lap C feature.
Remember, only 2 are going to transfer, and you can see Randy Hannigan trapped in the back, and we're going to have a yellow. We got 3 cars sideways and off the course over in turn number 1. That looks like it's Oswald's entry over there, or actually Marlon Jones or Dan Oswald. I couldn't see if it was the 1D or... It looks like it is Dan Oswald then, and the 1D and the 1R involved in it as well. Mike Reynolds. Yep, there's Dan Oswald. Well, we'll get him straightened out, pushed back off. That flopping tire there on the left side ain't going to work, though.
Remember the days when your car hit the road like it was king of the jungle? But today, your intake valves and fuel injectors are so dirty that your car is running with all the porosity of a kitty cat. Pour in Berryman B12 Chem Tool. No expensive tune-up, no dirty hands, just quicker start, fierce performance, and ferocious power. All for about the price of a bag of kitty litter. Berryman B12 Chem Tool. It just may be the only tool you need for fierce performance.
Think you have what it takes to land big bass? Then enter the TNN Outdoors Big Bass World Championship. You could qualify for nearly $100,000 in cash and prizes just for catching one big bass. The Nashville Network and Bass and Magazine are challenging all weekend anglers to show us your prize catch. Call 1-800-799-4545 now for free information on ordering your entry packet. You must be 18 years of age to enter. Land the biggest largemouth bass in your state to win a free trip to Big Cedar Lodge near Branson, Missouri, and compete against 49 anglers for a top prize valued at nearly $100,000. And everyone who certifies a bass gets an instant winner prize package valued at $60. Call now to enter and get a free cap and a copy of Bassin' Magazine. Catch bass, win stuff. It's that easy. Get ready to reel in the prizes. Enter the T&N Outdoors Big Bass World Championship today.
Professional builders. People who make a living with their tools. Prefer to buy their tools at the Home Depot. More than any other store in America. And whether it's the selection, the quality brands we offer, or our guaranteed commitment to the lowest prices, we think it's a pretty powerful argument for why you should shop here too. The Home Depot, where people who know their stuff buy their stuff.
Motor Madness is brought to you by Home Depot, where low prices are just the beginning.
Probably a little bit warmer here than in St. Paul, Minnesota, huh?
Yeah, about 55 degrees minimum. But I tell you, there's some action heating up here in the sea feature. A 15-minute time limit has been put on it, and they've used up, what of that? Didn't really know? About 8 or 9 minutes of that already. So it's either the first car to the checker, or the checker will come out in a few minutes.
Well, since we have completed a lap, we will restart this time utilizing that orange cone right there. Next time by, the leader can jump on the gas every time whenever he goes by the cone. You cannot pass the car in front of you until you pass the cone. Dave Reed?
Dan Oswald, you come all the way from South Dakota. You got that front tire down. You're going to be able to get it fixed and get back out.
Hope so, bud. I just got it a little over my head, ran in there too hard.
Any more damage besides the front tire?
No, we'll find out first lap.
They're getting ready to go green. The push truck is approaching the back of Dan Oswald. And as soon as he gets that car in gear, they'll go.
I have never seen Dave Reef move that quickly. That was your announcer person exiting stage right.
Green is out as we go past the orange cone. And Laney leads him. The 19 of Bob Weave runs behind him in second place.
And right now they hope that the 15-minute limitation was in effect and then go to the sea base.
Randy Hannigan coming up through the field.
That's the car that Bobby Gerald was talking about that normally you don't find in the sea beach. I got a feeling if the green stays out, that 96 car will win this thing.
Well, we got to see Hannigan get up another spot. He sits in third right now, and he's one spot out of a transfer. The 96 car, Scott Whitworth, making a heck of a charge. He started this back in 8th position. He's up to 4th, and he's challenging for 3rd on the inside of Hannigan. Hannigan, a former World of Outlaw Rookie of the Year. Coming off the NARC Tour, the Northern Auto Racing Club, running around Northern California, is where he groomed himself to be a big-time sprint car driver. And look at Whitworth, challenging on the inside again. He's going to force Hannigan up. Hannigan tries to shut the door on him off of turn 2. Whitworth looks like he's going to have the advantage on the bottom side, but no. The Hurricane stands on the gas a little bit deeper.
Hannigan having a little more difficult time with this field than I think he anticipated. And they're going to get into some traffic here even before 10 laps are over.
Well, if he doesn't hurry, it doesn't matter if he finishes 3rd or 4th, he's going to be done. And we've got a yellow coming out.
And a checker.
Oh, that is not good for Hannigan. That is not what he needed. Randy Hannigan is going to come up shy 1 spot from going on to the B.
Now you can stick a fortune to C feature because she is done. Yellow and checker displayed at the same time. So who? That 52, he's going to the B, that's for sure. Ronald Laney.
Humboldt, Texas has a C feature win in Ronald Laney. Tough break for Randy Hannigan.
Look at the fire coming out of those mufflers, huh? Think we need a little tune-up on that, baby?
Downstairs to Dave Reed, one of our B feature drivers.
The World of the Outlaw Rookies title is always one of the most exciting to watch as new young drivers come on the tour. They're aggressive, and we've got one of them in the B feature. He hasn't missed an A main. Paul McMahon, you got a long way to go here, but they're taking a top 4.
Yeah, you know, this beef packer still has been running good all night. We just drew a bad late number and had a bad qualifying lap. You know, we started 10th. I think we can get up to the front, though. I think Mark Ellis got the good race car with me tonight, and Dennis Ross gives me the best equipment to run to the front. I said aggressive. This guy will get to the front. Bobby Gerald. Schatz is the guy who is going to be giving Paul McMahon competition this year for Rookie of the Year, a title that this year is sponsored by the manufacturers as it's going to pay $6,000 to the Rookie of the Year at the end of the year. Donnie, you and Paul are already going at it here, and it's still early in the season.
Yeah, you know, I look forward to see a real good race between me and Paul all year. You know, it's just a thing we both want to get out on the road, and they got that Rookie of the Year deal, which is a good deal for both of us.
Donnie Schatz starts third in the B main. Now, the key here, guy, is for Donnie Schatz, if he would have made it through his heat race, he could have started on the pole of the dash. So this one hurts a little bit. He's got to make up a lot here in this one, Ralph.
And both of those drivers desperately needing to get into the A feature so they can continue to work their way towards the 97 Pennzoil World of Outlaws Rookie of the Year title. We'll be back.
Just how far do you have to go to get a delicious Eggo waffle all to yourself? Do I have to say Lego? Eggo waffles, part of a good breakfast.
Can't believe that worked.
Who was that guy? The horses really don't like me. They think, oh, well, there's that darn truck. It's time to go to the barn. I don't want to be ridden today. That's not my fault. I don't ride them. I just take them where they need to go. They blame me. Can you believe? But luckily, my owner, he takes care of me. He knows my engine's made for a high-octane gas like Chevron Supreme with Techron. And that Techron, it helps keep my emissions low.
No premium outperforms Chevron Supreme with Techron. Chevron, simply smarter.
My emissions are fine. The horse's emissions, they're questionable.
Introducing the 1997 Miller Lite stock car. Sure beats other sedans. The new Miller Lite Indy car. No radio, no heat, but hey, look at that handling. And if it's acceleration you're after, take a look at the Miller Lite Top Fuel Dragster. It leaves everything else at the light. Every Miller Lite car comes with our 16-second roadside assistance plan. We say, shoot, shop, and compare.
Wendy's delicious 5-piece chicken nuggets are impossible to resist.
I only got 4 nuggets. I only got 3. Mom, where's the rest of our nuggets? Hey. Mom.
Now Wendy's 5-piece chicken nuggets are just 99 cents every day.
I don't compromise on my laxative. I want both strong and gentle, so I choose Docalax.
Docalax is strong. So effective, doctors recommend it most. And it's gentle with comfort coating. Why compromise? Get strong, get gentle, get Docalax.
March 28th on TNN Motor Madness. It's a fight to the finish. The ultimate endurance race. A true battle of survival. The only motorsport where daring drivers try to eliminate the competition without being eliminated. It's the Dixie Crash Fest Demolition Derby from Atlanta. Join Katie Haas for TNN Motor Madness. Presented by Quaker State. Friday, March 28th at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Only on the National Network.
The B feature cars are getting lined up for the Pennzoil World of Outlaws B feature at Devil's Bowl. We've got to give Ronald Laney and Bob Weeb a chance to get their cars fueled back up, change tires if they want to after they finish 1 and 2 in the C feature. So we'll take this opportunity to send it back to Charlotte, Katie Haas, and Steve Byrd.
Oh, these are my crowd waves. Parade waves. Boy, man, they're getting into it. They must have some good food out there at Devil's Bowl. Of course, we're starving here.
In the Devil's Kitchen.
What do they cook there? We're not sure. Eli Gold's standing by, and I'm sure he's hungry, too. Hungry to talk Mark Martin.
Got to do, indeed, just that. Talk about Mark Martin. If you're with us earlier in the show, we talked about spending some time with Mark and discussing 1996. But why don't we take this segment of the interview and go way back to when Mark Martin was a little guy growing up in the state of Arkansas. What was it like growing up in Arkansas when you were a kid? Was it, were you from a family that had a lot? Were you a comfortable family as far as your place in life?
Very different than most folks. From the average, I was not necessarily the norm. My family was, did rather well for the community, but, Batesville, Arkansas, the population 7,000 when I was growing up. My dad was definitely a different kind of guy. It was really a kind of a wild, non-structured, non-rules, anti-rules, kind of guy. Did pretty much what he wanted to do. I idolized my father, and he was pretty much into fast things and fast cars and mechanical things and stuff like that. And so we shared an enthusiasm for speed and for controlling things that were just almost out of control.
George Miller remembers when you were in the 2nd or 3rd grade, and he had to pass by your house on the way home every afternoon, and said you would just stand out on the road and throw rocks at the cars as they passed. You were a plain old kid is what you were, which is nice.
Mischievous too, you know.
Were you a tough kid to handle?
I did a few things that were questionable, whether they were real smart or not. Mm-hmm. But what kid hasn't? I was, for the most part, I was a little bit mischievous, but I think I was a pretty good kid.
Yeah, Nick Baxter says he remembers cruising Main Street with you, and you were in a chopped-out Volkswagen, and we won't talk about popping wheelies or anything like that.
We did a lot of that. I did a lot of driving that I shouldn't have done, and I'm real lucky to be alive. I mean, real lucky to be alive.
You were that much on the edge, huh?
I was that much on the edge. I'm real lucky to be alive, but I always thought I had it under control. Well, I drove that. I sat on 4 stadium cushions.
Really?
4.
This is great.
But that was supposed to, keep the police from thinking I was too little to drive, but all that, when you could see my waist sticking up above the window, they pretty much knew that.
Mark Martin, little revealing stuff right there. By the way, he said, if you're going to use all those little kids' pictures of me, he said, we've got to have equal time, and this is equal time.
Is that you?
No, that's not me. The thighs aren't chunky enough. That is the lovely and beguiling Steve Burns, who is sitting directly next to you. So there you have it, Mark Martin, equal time, and that is available. Duplicates, replications
30 pounds of
available.
Twisted steel right there, my friend.
Yeah, right. Very nice.
Well, next time we visit, we'll talk about Mark Martin and aviation. That's coming up next.
Excellent. We'll do that. Don't look for baby pictures on me. There aren't any. All right. We're coming back. We're going to cue this lovely break. Define cue. We'll be right back.
Is this how you start your day? It's okay. Need a little pick-me-up? Aw. Look, perfect nutrition is for perfect people. Then we don't know any. That's why there's Boost, the delicious shake that's got 25 vitamins and minerals with carbohydrates and protein instead of caffeine for real energy that lasts. So if your day isn't 100% nutritious, maybe it's time for a Boost. Boost, the perfect snack for imperfect people.
Line 'em up. Turn on the power. Rev up the excitement. Shift into high gear. And take no prisoners. The American Speed Association, celebrating 30 years. It's the AC Delco Challenge Series Tar Heel 400, live April 6th, 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific on TNN Motorsports, the leader in motorsports coverage.
All right, we are back for Motor Madness Live. We're out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Katie Constant and Steve Burns, and of course, Eli's hanging out. He's going out for pizza now because we're all starving, aren't we?
And we got to go to the Devil's Bowl fast.
Oh, okay,
In a hurry.
that's what it means. Let's get back there then, please.
Welcome back, everybody. Mesquite, Texas, Devil's Bowl Speedway. We are ready for the B feature now, which will take 12 laps to complete. 4 cars out of the B, the top 4. We'll go on to the A feature here tonight. Let's take a look at the lineup. Craig Delansky and Don Trout starting on row number 1.
There's some serious talent here in the B tonight. Donnie Schatz, Tommy Estes Jr., who looks like a pickup truck for some reason there. Mike Peters and Tyler Walker. This occasionally can be the best race of the night. Sometimes the big A feature can be a runaway by a Kinzer or a Swindell, but the B, they really got to fight for those 4 spots.
Speaking of Kinzers, we got one of those. Randy Kinzer in this one. He's going to have Paul McMahon, who's going for Rookie of the Year, sitting right alongside of him. One Jacobs, no Mouse this week, but we got Dean. Bobby Will lining up alongside the 85. Neon Dion Hindi and Justin Vive back in the next row, row 7. Shane Stewart, Mike Ward making up row number 8. Don Bankston and Victor Hensley in row number 9. And the 10th row, here's where you get the two cars that came up out of the C feature. Anna Laney and Bob Weed.
Take a look at the racetrack, guys, as they're circling around here. It's starting to get a little bit of a rubber buildup on it. It's starting to look like kind of textured asphalt there, but it's not bad at all, and it's going to be lightning fast. Bobby Gerald?
Way deep in the pack in car number 88 is Mike Ward. He's from Memphis, Tennessee, but he's raced here quite a bit. He's won here in the past, not in World of Outlaws competition, but he has scored a feature win in the past. And a matter of fact, he has won 230 feature events over the course of his career. He's won 18 different championships. So this guy knows what he's doing behind the wheel of a sprint car. Dave?
Steve Evans, you mentioned good drivers. You mentioned a couple of young ones as well. We've got a pair of 17-year-olds, Justin Vi, Tyler Walker, a pair of 20-year-olds, and Donnie Schatz and Shane Stewart. So there's plenty of upcoming talent getting ready to put the medal down here in the beat.
Which is great news for fans of the World of Outlaws. There is no end to the pool of talent making its way towards the big time here.
Well, so many of these kids start in little bitty go-karts, move on up to quarter midgets, up to full-size midgets. There's a real curve you can follow, or if you think you got it, you can start at the top. You may fall to the back, but you can. Most of these kids, though, came up with a lot of racing under the belt. The Jeff Gordon style of graduating into the big leagues.
There's Mike Peters. There's Paul McMahon and Randy Kinzer. Kinzer in the 14. There's Team Jacobs in the 1F, the Frigidaire car. Big sponsorship out of that field. Team Jacobs bringing the Frigidaire people to the World of Outlaws sprint cars. Got that whole program started last year. It's really kind of evolved into a tremendous program. Great to see folks like in a non-motorized or automotive industry, Frigidaire, getting involved in sprint car racing.
You know, and you and I commented earlier today as we walked through the infield here in the pits how beautiful the machinery is compared to just a few years ago. By the 5th race of the year, the stuff would be all beat up. It just kind of stayed beat up. Now everything is polished. Every rig is waxed. It is professional motorsports at the upper level. Delansky got down there in a rut and it hurt him a little bit.
The 51 going around, and he's going to get back on that gas. Oh, he's frustrated too. That's Victor Hensley right there. The 51P is going to bring out the yellow. And we got two more getting together. And one upside down. That's Peters, it looks like. The 66 upside down. The Trop Arctic car sitting alongside of the 9S over there. Shane Stewart. You can see Mike trying to crawl out of the car. Gets himself unbuckled. Look out for the wing posts. And he's out. He's okay, and he's out of the car.
He wants to get out as quickly as he can in case there's any fuel leaking out of his cell. Sometimes they can rupture, and that's one reason a driver wants out as quickly as possible.
Now, there are a couple of other cars involved over there, and we're going to take a look at it here. There's Peters.
Mike Ward in there.
Oh, and he just gets hammered by the 11. That's Dion Hindi. And Stewart involved in it as well. And the 52 car of Ronald Laney. Well, we're going to have to step away for a second while they get this all straightened out. When we come back, we'll have more of the B feature.
Most gas additives don't stand up to 104 plus Octane Boost. Octane Boost eliminates hesitation and increases horsepower on the street and off the road. 104 plus Octane Boost kicks gas. Guaranteed. Take no prisoners. 104 plus Octane Boost.
This is for Reverend O'Brien, who always told me to give it my best shot. For my grandmother, who showed me what real courage is. And for myself, who found it.
Saturday morning,
Fishing Pro Shaw Grigsby shows you the best way to angle anywhere, plus the greatest places and expert techniques. One more